Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Perry Flips with a Z on Instagram, Pothead Picker on X, Flips and Giggles on Facebook. And if you like the show so far, make sure you subscribe. You can find the show anywhere you get your podcasts. And now all episodes are available on YouTube. Finally, I figured it out, folks. I did it. It was super easy, and I don't know why. I thought I had checked. I don't think the option was there when I first was setting up the podcast. But like, when you're setting up the podcast, you basically like put your RSS feed everywhere so that your podcast can be played on Spotify and Apple and all that shit. And so when you do it through the website, it just gives you all of the little. You can do them all from the website. Just whoever you're using your hosting site is. And so like I went and checked the other day because I don't fuck around with stuff too much. I'm like, I should fuck around with more things, but I'm just like, all right, I figured out how to fucking upload the podcast. I upload it. Plus I'm trying not to check numbers. Like I try not to look at the numbers too much. So I just am never on the website, unless I'm uploading the podcast. And so I looked and I saw, I checked again for distribution or whatever. And I went through and make sure they were all turned on. And I saw YouTube. And I was like, oh, I don't think this was an option before. So I went and I did that. And it uploaded all 55 episodes. And then it should continue to upload every week. So it's just attached to the RSS feed like the rest of it. So you can listen to it. It's going to be audio only. The only reason I was going to do video so I could put it on YouTube, but right now it's just so much easier. Eventually I'll do video. I need a space where I can just get it set up. Right now I don't have space. Like everything's just a fucking mess all the time. It's so jumbled. We have a shed outside and that thing's fucking going. And once that shed goes, like once it's like finally we're done with it. Sorry, that was gross. I want to get a big shed, to, something that we can probably that we can store stuff in for both like the gardening shit and outside shit, and then have like the store stuff, or maybe move all the gardening shit to a separate spot. And then I don't know. We've got a bunch of storage in this house, and for some reason it's so every fucking closet and like every storage space it just gets unorganized throughout, like, because you just throw shit in there, you know what I mean? We organize it. Like in the spring, we try to do spring cleaning as much as possible. You know what I mean? In the winter, it's hard. Nobody wants to do shit. It's fucking cold. You can't really do shit outside, because it's just going to be the weather's going to be shit. But then once spring rolls around, you got to start fucking cleaning up. Like, it's crazy. When you first move into a house, you're just like, fuck. You start thinking about all the shit you have to do, and you just are like, fuck, man, it's fucking blow. But it's really not that. I mean, it's fucking, aside from financially, like, I've been trying, I try to learn shit. If it's something like basic, and if it doesn't involve me dying, like electricity, or fire, explosions, or anything like that, like I leave that shit to professionals. And like stuff cosmetically, because I'm just gonna make it look like shit. You know what I mean? Like, we're thinking about painting this other room, and I'm like, I don't want to be anywhere near painting. So yeah, like every spring we try to do a little bit of spring cleaning. Like maybe do one project. But we'll see. I have friends coming in from out of town this week. So I'm hoping to do another podcast, to do Drunk with Jacob episode, like volume 2. It was about this time last year that we did the episode Drunk. I don't remember which episode number it is. I'd have to look it up. It might have been like 10 or 11 or something like that. But we had gone out. I think we went to see Are You Garbage, the podcast in Boston. And then when we got back, it was like midnight, and I think my wife was working, so like I was just like, yo, we should just fucking do a podcast. And so we did a podcast at like midnight, and yeah, it was pretty funny. We were pretty fucked up. I don't drink a lot. I drank this weekend because I knew they were coming. I know this sounds really stupid. And I didn't like drink like a shitload. I had IPAs for the first time in a while, which I stopped drinking them because they were giving me heartburn, but they didn't give me heartburn this time. I just like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't drink. Well, I quit drinking. I'm not like a quit drinking. I'm not like against drinking. I enjoy drinking occasionally. But I just, for whatever reason, I just haven't really felt like drinking lately. And so I knew we had friends coming into town. So I was like, oh, I'll have a couple drinks. Like, so that way I'm not like feeling like shit. But I didn't end up, I had like a very small hangover yesterday, but like, yeah, I didn't drink a ton. It was just those IPAs. They'll catch up to you. So yeah, that'll be fun if we can do that. Oh, hopefully we can make that happen. Because the last episode was pretty funny. The episode should have been called Joseph Christ, because that was probably the funniest part of it. But anyway, you can go back and listen to it, or you already have, and I'm just rehashing old shit. Anyway, back to reselling stuff. So this weekend, it's still not like fully yard sale season here. It's not really yard sale season at all. Like there's one more sale that I'm waiting for. That's the sale that kind of is like, all right, after this, they kind of pick up. But yeah, so I went to a sale, what was it, Friday? So there was a sale Friday, and it was like a church thrift sale. So like they, have like this huge sale. And I got there. I could only get there like 20 minutes early. And so I got there 20 minutes early, and there was already a pretty sizable line. So I hopped in, and like I went in, and they were like, oh, the jewelry and this and that is to this side. This other side is closed. So I was like, I'll go to the clothes first, just because like the other stuff didn't sound like anything I was crazy interested in. And so I found like a college sweatshirt, like this college sweater of the town that we were in, but it was like a cool pattern, and like it's got like elbow patches and shit. So like I think I do pretty well with vintage college shit. So I found that. I gotta start posting shit to my Instagram. I'm so bad about it. Like I don't know why. Like I just always forget to do it, and then when when I finally remember, I'm falling asleep, and it's just, yeah, I gotta just I need to start, what's it called? Like doing a day because you can set them to like all come out in the certain days, and that way I don't even have to think about it. So I need to just start doing that, like spending like an hour or two on like a Sunday, and just setting up my social media bullshit for the week. But who knows? Now that I don't have to fucking worry about editing videos for right now, I can try to focus on some other shit. Finally got my taxes done. I have a tax guy, and I talked to him a little bit about like financial planning. So he was showing me about like investing and shit. So I want to try to get. My wife wants to meet with him too, so I gotta text him actually after this. I'm going to pull it up right now so I don't forget to do that. But yeah, that took, I'm pretty used to doing my taxes now. So like it's unorganized, but it works for me. So, it is what it is. So then, what else did I get at that? Oh, I got a Nirvana t-shirt. It was like, it was vintage, but not like, crazy vintage. It was kind of like a variant of the In Utero logo. So it's just like it looked like it. I don't think it was from Target or anything like that, but it was kind of like gave me like a, that feeling like that it's from somewhere like that where it was like a licensed thing. But it had a tag, and there was not. I don't think there was any listed. So we'll see. But that's all I got. So it wasn't really like crazy worth it to go to that one. I probably won't go back to that one. there was so many people, and there was just like, it was kind of overwhelming because there was so much stuff everywhere, and it was just like, a free for all. And there wasn't much space to move, you know what I mean? So it was like you couldn't be just like moving around people. So it was just very like kind of like if you left a rack, you were just kind of having to hope that you found something open because everything was just being picked through. So, yeah, it was all right though. I mean, it is what it is. And then Saturday, I went to one sale that was in an apartment. And I hate going to sales in apartments. They're always fucking weird. But like, you always have to take a chance when it's the off season. And I might have actually gotten something that was really worth a lot of money there. Not like a ton of money, but like, $300-$400 maybe more. I have it running an auction right now, but so it's a fucking apartment. I'll get back to what I found in a minute. So I parked like down the street, and then like I had to walk over, and fucking the door was open. So I just like walked in, went up. They're like, it was like a mom and her son. I'm pretty sure the son was gay. That matters to the story. So that's the only reason I'm saying I wouldn't just fucking bring it up otherwise. So the mom is one of those people she's just like, she's telling me about every single thing. Even though I've told her what I'm interested in and what I'm looking for, she's telling me about comforters and fucking household things. And like, anytime my eyes looked at something, she starts talking about it. And I'm just like, oh my God. So, and then I ended up finding like a couple, like an old Marlboro jacket, which might be worth a little bit of money. I don't know how much. I have to look it up. Marlboro stuff can go either way. And then I got like a Marlboro fanny pack. They had a Marlboro tent, but I was like, I don't fucking want to deal with a tent. I looked them up because it was, the fanny pack. I was like, this I can fucking throw in a yard sale. You know what I mean? Depending on how much they're going to charge me right now. And I could tell they weren't going to charge me that much. And so I'm I'm walking around talking. This lady's just like fucking talking my ear off. Then the son's fucking talking to me, and so I'm like, I started looking at the DVDs, and I was like looking for anything interesting. If it's cheap enough, I'll grab like horror movies. There was a couple horror movies there that were like, decent that would work in a lot. So I was like, oh, I'll just fucking grab these. And then I was like, I might as well just grab all of the horror movies. So I was, looking through them, and she's like, oh, I have some horror movies downstairs. Cause it was like a 3-bedroom three-floor apartment. And the mom had passed away. She like lived on the top floor. I did feel bad because she was like telling me that they had just moved her up. They're like, yeah, we moved everything out of her house in Florida, moved her up here, and like we were getting ready to move her into this apartment. We got it all ready, painted, blah blah blah, and she died right after she moved in. And so I'm like, oh shit, that's fucked up, blah blah blah, whatever. And so she's like, anyway, she brings me downstairs to like, she's like, oh, I might have some horror movies in my downstairs. So we go down to her second floor, because she lives on the second floor, and then the son lived on the first floor. So third floor was the dead mom, second floor was the lady who wouldn't shut the fuck up, and then first floor is her gay son. Okay, so I'm on the second floor now at this point, looking at these fucking movies, and like this lady is like, she turns around, she's an older lady, and she like bends over to like get the DVDs and shit, and she has a giant tramp stamp. I told my wife this too, so like, not just in case anybody's fucking gonna try to snitch on me or something. But she has a giant tramp. It's not like anything happened, but she just had a giant tramp stamp, and I was like, oh damn, this old lady probably used to fuck. And but I was just like, oh okay. So then I go back out, and I'm trying to like, I stayed by the door. I like looked at her movies. I was like, oh yeah, there's nothing I really want. None of it was horror. People always say that shit. It's like, oh, I have horror movies, and it's like fucking some thriller, like, Anyway, so I'm like standing by the door. I go back out to the hall, go back upstairs. I'm starting to look through some other shit, They had like a bunch of Beanie Babies and then Beanie Kids. And I looked up Beanie Kids, and the Beanie Kids do all right, but there was like a whole tote of them, and I had no idea what they were going to ask for them. And I was like, do I really want to spend my time fucking listing Beanie Kids? And the answer was no, so I didn't do that. And I was kind of looking around, and then I see a framed picture, and you could tell it's like I saw an autograph, and I could tell it was from like an old show. And so I'm looking at it, and it was from Hogan's Heroes. But it had the full cast, and all of them had signed it, and it's like hand signed. There was no certificate of authenticity, but like if you look at the autographs and shit, like the Richard Dawson, the dude who's fucking became a game show host, and all this other shit. My father-in-law actually was telling me, I didn't actually look this up to verify it, but like the dude who played Hogan, he said he was like a gay dude who got beat to death or something. But I don't know if that's true or not. It might be. I'm sure it is. I don't know why he would lie about that. I know he's not a liar, but he might be thinking of somebody else. So if it's wrong, then that's probably. Anyway, so I put that up for auction, and I started at 25, and it's at like it's already got. Or no, I started at 20, and then it went to 25. Oh no, I started at 25, and somebody bid 25, and then somebody bid like 27. And so like now there's like 6 days left. So I'm hoping it still goes up a bunch. I was looking online. There's a bunch of reprints. There was one with one signature, like just the one guy's signature, and it went for like $350. So I don't know what it's if this one's gonna go for a lot more. There might have been other ones on there, but eBay's kind of fucking. There's ones that you can't tell if it's like a reprint. Sometimes they don't put reprint, but it looks like it's not like they don't have actual pictures of it. So I mean, mine's not in the best shape. The picture's kind of fucked up a little bit. Like there's a crease and then there's some staining and shit. But I mean, I put pictures of everything. I'm like, I don't know anything about this. I don't know if it's actually certified. You can look at it definitely looks like it's hand. You know what I mean? It was to somebody. So, but yeah, so I paid like $35 for the jacket, the thingy, the fanny pack, what's it called? The DVDs, and then the that picture. I got like another thing of jewelry. It's like something. It's like Jurgen Jensen or something. I looked it up because I could see it in the picture that they posted, and it was stuff in that brand was going for around $100, but I don't know if this is actually what's supposed to be in there. So I got to try to ID it and figure it out. But anyway, so then I'm talking about how I sell clothing or whatever, and the son is like, the mom is like, oh, don't you have like all those T-shirts downstairs? Why don't you take them down there and show them those T-shirts? And he's like, yeah, do you want to come look at my T-shirts? Just kidding. That's not how he talked. So he takes me downstairs, and like, I'm just like, damn, is this whole family just trying to fuck me right now? Like, what is happening? They keep taking me and like her apartment was hella clean, and I go down to his, and it was fucking. He's like, oh, my apartment's not as clean as my mom's. He also doesn't sound like that. But I was just like, okay, so I go in, and he's got like a fucking dog that's barking. And he shows me all these T-shirts, and it's just like, I've never seen any of these brands. He's like, yeah, they're all like higher end T-shirts. And I'm just like, maybe they were. I don't know. It seemed like, I don't know, TJ Maxx shit. I don't know what it was. But I was like, yeah, you can try looking them up, but I don't know. I mean, there's nothing I'm interested in. And I stayed by the door too. I'm just like, dude, these people are fucking kind of weird. And then I just like left, and I was like, all right, well, see you later. Like, fucking paid for my shit and took off. So I'm hoping that fucking Hogan's Hero picture is worth it, because those fucking people are so fucking weird. I hate apartment sales, dude. I've gone to like different things where people are like, oh, I have stuff for sale, and you go to their apartment, and it's just like, you can't tell what's for sale and what's like not being sold, and you're just like, and there's always like fucking multiple people, and it's just always very sketchy. So I got the fuck out of there, and then I went to another sale that was completely the wrong day, so I wasted my time like driving all the way over there. And then I hit one more sale that was like I got there just so as I was driving over there, I decided to stop at Savers. I was like, oh, I'll fucking run into Savers and see if I get anything. And I got a few T-shirts. I got one. I was like, oh, it's fucking super cool. It was like a Universal Studios. It hadn't hit the racks yet. It was like on the it was, she had like started putting shit away, but she got called to the back, so I started picking through the rack. But of course, there was nothing like cool and vintage, but it was modern. So I'm like, oh, I'll grab that. It looked like it was expensive from Universal Studios. And of course, it was like, a $12 T-shirt. So I'm like, oh, cool. This is fucking great. Awesome. And then I got a couple other things, but yeah, I never really have luck in that place, but I figured I would stop by because I was driving by it. It was like 5 minutes from the sale. So I drove back over to the sale, and when I got there, the people that were having the sale weren't there yet. So I got out of the car because I was going to go knock. But like as I was getting out of the car, the guy pulled up, and he was like, "Oh," I was like, "Oh, is this your sale?" He's like, "Yeah, sorry, I'm running a little late." And I was only there like 15 minutes early. And he was like, I was like, "Oh, can I, come in or whatever?" He's like, yeah, no problem. So I go in, and this house had like a bunch of different closets. And for some reason, like all of the stuff in the closets was like kind of dirty. So I ended up grabbing a bunch of stuff. Some of it I ended up having to like, clean, and I don't know if it's going to sell. I'm going to have to sell it with like, the blemishes. I tried to clean a couple of them. But there was like, I got like a leather polo jacket. I got like some other old bomber jacket. And I looked up that brand, and there's a few of them that sold for like a couple $100. And this one has like a interesting design on the back. I don't know what it is, but so I got that. I got like a vintage Hard Rock jacket, but again, condition isn't great on the jacket. We got like a vintage LL Bean sweater that was made in Norway. Like I see LL Bean all the time, and I've started to like figure out which sells. Like I sell a lot of LL Bean. Some of it sells, some of it doesn't. But typically if I get like, I have one thing that's brand new old stock with tags on my store right now, and it just hasn't sold yet. And so it like really depends on which type of stuff. So I don't know if this is going to sell or not, but I scooped it up just because it doesn't look like it has any stains. It was on the bed too, so like it wasn't in the closet. Like there was a bunch of closets in this house. So I was like, oh, and I had to go meet the tax guy at like 10:30. My timing was fucking crazy on Saturday. So like, yeah, I got there right when the guy was pulling up. I just everything just kind of worked out. Even though I went to the wrong place, it still just kind of worked out. So I find a bunch of other stuff. So I went through a bunch of different closets. I grabbed as much stuff as I could find. And it was pretty dark, so it was hard to tell on certain stuff. But I did get a bunch of stuff. I only paid $35, I think. Yeah, I paid $35. So yeah, I should do all right. Oh, I got 2 Coach purses too. So I did get like a bunch of stuff there. And then I got to the meeting with the tax guy like right at 10:30. Left there and then went to the post office. Like people are always like, "Oh, get a job when you're a fucking resale." Like I see that shit online. I don't see it as much on like Instagram, which is weird because I see it on Facebook, and like Instagram is like an extension of Facebook. Like a lot of times I see the same kind of reaction to things between like Facebook and what the fuck was the other one I was thinking of? And Instagram. But yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about. Anyway, fuck, I completely forget what I was talking about. I just got like so super sidetracked. Anyway, I don't know. It'll come to me. If not, it's not a big deal. I was pretty much getting to the end of whatever it was I was talking about. It's probably written down too, but who knows? But yeah, man, what timing? But the people online that are talking about uh that talk about resellers. So on Facebook, and people are like, oh yeah, resellers like get a job or whatever, and like, yeah, I mean it's a lot of work. I go to the post office like every day. I think I'm gonna switch all of my listings because right now they're on 3-day handling. I thought you could only do from 3 to 1, but apparently you can do 2. So I think I'm gonna switch to 2-day handling. Supposedly, if you do that, it helps your sales. But I don't think, like, as of right now, I don't think it'll affect me because I try to ship daily if I can. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really ever a time when I have to ship like on the 3rd day. Occasionally like on vacation, but like I can just, take more days off for the store. I still sell shit when I'm on vacation. Anyway, so yeah, just Saturday was I did that, and then we went to my in-laws' house, which is like 2 hours away in Connecticut. Sorry. And I'm still recovering from sleep. Anytime we go to Grandma and Pop-Pop's house, it's fucking... I don't get a ton of... Like, neither one of us get a ton of sleep. So, it just... So, Sunday, I woke up and I was like, I'll go to a couple sales. And this is in a whole nother state now at this point. And so the first sale I went to, so it was the second day for this estate sale that I went to. And well, first there was a yard sale, and they had like, their shit was like, they had a $2 table, like a $5 table, and then they had a couple things individually marked. So I ended up getting like an old camera, which probably goes for like $20-25. And then I got like a Wonder Woman hat, which probably is like $10. I'll probably put that on Marketplace. And then what the fuck was it? Oh, a sealed Lego set. And so the Lego set's only like a $20 to $25 set. So I'll probably put that away for a while, because it's like a Lego Technic set, and those things can jump up in price at some point. So some of those go for some like good money, the Technics. So yeah, I don't know if it's not retired yet or if it's just recently retired or what, but I will definitely be sitting on that shit. So I got that at the first sale, paid like $10. Then I went to an estate sale, and I wish I had just skipped the estate sale and went right to the daily yard sale, but so it was the second day of this estate sale. They had records. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I got excited. I was like, oh, maybe I fucking scored. It's the second day of the sale, so this shit should be cheap. And I walk over, and I see the first record I see is marked $10. And I'm just like, oh. And they're in good condition and shit, and like, that's not an outrageous price. But for me, as a reseller, I'm like, yeah, no, I can't pay that price. So I'm looking through, there's got like 10, 15, 50. Like, the lady comes over, and I was just like, oh, these prices, like, because normally on the last day of a sale, they're trying to blow everything out. So it's like, are these prices like the last day of the sale price, or is this like? And she was like, oh, well, if you get a bunch of them, like, I can make you a deal, but the guy who just left paid $500 and loaded his car and didn't even bat an eye. So I'm like, all right, well, A, that means that all the good shit's gone, and B, I don't know. I don't have a B. I didn't really think that through. But yeah, it would mean the good shit's gone, and B, like, I can't make any fucking money if I'm paying, even if I got them all together as a lot, it was like, how much is she going to fucking charge me for that? You know what I mean? I typically buy records. Like, here's the thing. I probably could have made some money had I, like, sat there and scanned them and did all that shit, but I I didn't want to have to do it. It might have been a collector who bought all those records. You know what I mean? So I could have just sat there and scanned them and try to find like a good gem. But like the ones that were left, a lot of the condition wasn't great. Like there was one box of the ones that were very good condition. So that's why I got excited at first. And then the rest of them were all kind of shit condition. So I didn't buy anything there. And then I went to the next sale and I fucked up. So I put the sale in the GPS. I'm like driving to the sale. And as I'm going to the sale, there was like another bonus sale. I was like, ooh, sweet. I'll go to the original sale I wanted to first and then go back to that one. And the person I was in front of me ended up was going to, you could tell they were going to the yard sale. So I should have just turned around and fucking stopped, but I just kept going, following them. And ended up like the GPS was just wrong. There was only one sale and that was the sale that it was supposed to be. So I ended up turning around, going behind this person. I go into the sale. And I had seen the pictures, and there was like pictures of this Madeline doll, and I looked it up, and it actually goes for some decent money. So I got that, and like a Bose speaker system, and like another doll or something like that, and a couple things of costume jewelry. Took a chance on it. But there was a PlayStation 3 that I missed out on, and it was the person who was fucking in front of me that got it. So had I gone in like, had I had the extra time, I probably would have ended up finding it. But instead I went fucking driving around following the stupid ass GPS. So it's probably the fucking robot revolution starting early. They're just starting to fucking get going. Like fucking fuck you up with your yard sale routes. They know my weakness and my vulnerabilities. So yeah. So that was the last sale of the weekend, and then yeah, now it's another week, another motherfucking week. Let me see if I have anything to talk about. Oh yeah, so this guy, so last week there's a guy that I talked to that I'm like, I see at yard sales and shit. We're friendly. We go for the same shit, but like he has a full-time job. He does reselling part-time. But like he finds some good shit from time to time. Like he has some really good finds. But like he'll have yard sales and he'll sell a lot of his shit at his yard sale. Including like stuff that he was like gonna sell, so it's like you kind of see his whole inventory. So he like, he's always got a lot of stuff. I guess that was a roundabout way to say that. So he had hit me up about, coming to take a look before the sale. So I just assumed like, cause that I had first dibs, which I shouldn't have assumed. So somebody had hit him up on like Craigslist or something like that and was like, hey, can I buy your comic books? And he had told me they had comic books, but right then I should have been like, hey, I'm interested in the comic books, and then asked the question I asked. But I just asked the question assuming that he would, still have them. And so I missed out. There was like, I think there was a copy of Thor number 337 that I've been looking for. So I missed out on that. But aside from that, I have to get better about like saying shit. Like I should have just said something. Because he had some other shit that I might have been interested in too. But he had like somebody else come earlier. So I should have been like, whatever, try to get in there earlier. Because he probably texted me first, but then he was like, I just set up a time with him instead of like telling him what I was actually interested in. And then he, had other people hitting him up. So, and I understand, you know what I mean? You don't know who's going to buy what. He knows I'm a reseller. I sell the same shit, this, that, and the other. So, but yeah, I just gotta fucking, I gotta get better about saying that shit when I'm, or like, asking for shit. Like if I had gone to that yard sale today and been like, hey, do you have, or on Sunday, and I was like, hey, do you have any video games? I probably would have found that PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 3 2. Get it? I'm playing with my balls right now. That's what you're missing by not watching on video. I'm not like playing with them sexually. They're just like stuck to my leg right now. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so yeah, basically just like a closed mouth doesn't get fed. I remember I worked with this black dude, Andre. I worked with several Andres. I lived with an Andre as well, Black Andre. I want to get him on this podcast so bad, but I haven't seen him in like forever. He's like a fucking nomad or something. I just never. Every once in a while, he just pops up, and I'm like, hey. I'm like, okay, he's alive. Because I worry about him so much. Anyway, this other guy, he was telling me, he used to say that. He'd be like, closed mouth don't get fed. When he would try to close sales for cell phones and shit. I'm like, hey, yeah, it's a good thing. Good. So I say that to my kids. Like, closed mouth doesn't get fed. I just don't say doesn't. I said don't get fed. I said a closed mouth don't get fed. And they go, Daddy, what the fuck are you talking about? Anyway. Yeah, I've been like summoned to jury duty, but it's like fucking almost an hour away. And it's like on a day my wife is working. And so if you go on the website, it says like one of the reasons for disqualification is that what's it called? If you live in a different judicial district, that it like, then if you live in a different judicial district than where you are being summoned to, then it would disqualify you. And I live in a different judicial district. So I put that as a reason. But then I found the handbook after I sent it in, and the handbook is like a different, it says like if you live in a different county, but I was on the handbook on the website, which is like, I clicked the link, you know what I mean? You click the link that they give you. So I don't know what the fuck who knows? I wouldn't mind doing jury duty if it wasn't fucking 45 minutes away. There's a courthouse like fucking 8 minutes from my house that I could just as easily go to. Instead I have to go to my fucking the town I grew up in, fucking ghetto ass city. No, I love it. It's Brockton, Mass. I love Brockton, Mass, dude. And Brockton District Court is insane. I had to go to I went to jury duty like years ago in Brockton, Mass, and they didn't end up using me. But like right now, I'm a stay-at-home dad, so it's like it's hard for me to just. And my mom is fucking elderly and not able to like watch my kid for that long. Plus, she'd have to like drive my other kid to school, and it's just a whole bunch of shit that it's like you can find somebody else. There's plenty of fucking people that can do it. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna send it in. Well, I put it in. I mean, there's nothing I can do. I can try calling, but we'll see what they say. I'll just put it in. I put that I'm disqualified. They'll be like, they'll probably follow up, and I'll say, well, I was reading the website, and I clicked the link that you guys had on the website for the disqualifications, and that's where I got the information. So, who knows how it's gonna go? We shall see. But I was thinking about just like throwing it away, and I'm like, I don't want to just like throw it away. Then I'm gonna fucking get like a fine or some shit. Plus, I also have like a ticket that I'm like waiting to get back about having an appeal for fucking what's it called? So, yeah, fun. So, anyway. It might be a shorter episode today because I might have to do another one this week. Oh, I was thinking about this the other day too. I had like a weird, it's like, you just kind of think about some of your older jobs sometimes. I was thinking about when I used to be a paper boy. I don't know if you've ever been a paper boy, but you have to do what's called collecting So like every Friday I would have to go to the door and be like, collecting. And then they would pay me money for their fucking stupid newspaper. And I would do this like for whatever reason. I hated collecting. And like if there was a mild inconvenience, I would just go back the next week. You know what I mean? So a lot of times there would be people who just like, it would add up to like, a few weeks, and I'd finally catch them and they'd be like fucking pissed that they had to pay this huge bill for their fucking newspaper because I hadn't been collecting the money each week. And then I split a paper out with one of my friends growing up. This girl that lived a couple streets over, like I went to daycare at her mom's house. So we split a paper route, and she was so good about collecting the money and shit, and I was so bad at it. Like now I would be a really good paper boy because I'd be fucking responsible, but I was such a little fuck. So I was such a little fuck. Like, yeah. And you'd have to get up crazy early. Like Sundays, I think, were the earliest days to get the Sunday paper because you had to put all the fucking inserts into them. Like you had all the Sunday inserts. So you'd put the fucking papers together and they had to go drive them around. And you couldn't just like throw them like in Paperboy. You had to like walk up to the fucking mailbox, or some people wanted it in between their door and then other people wanted it in their mailbox, and you had to fucking walk up and fucking put it in either thing. I'm sorry for cursing so much today. It's just I've been busy. And so when I'm trying to catch back up with stuff, it's I don't know what correlation I was just trying to make with that. But anyway, yeah. I'm trying to think. There, like, a lot of shit used to happen on my paper route, though. I used to have a good time. I had a buddy that lived on my paper route, so I'd ride down the street. I would deliver papers, and then I would stop at his house. And a lot of times the paper, at the time, people wanted their paper for when they got out of work. It's like they would want to get home and fucking crack the paper open so they could get their information. It was a different time. People needed their newspaper. And I would go to his house and just like hang out and play video games or fuck around and like tease, like bully kids in the neighborhood. Like there was like always a hierarchy near where I lived in my neighborhood, where like there was older kids that would bully like me and my friends, and then like we would bully like either like kids that were, weirdos, or I wasn't really like a bullier. But like we would just like talk shit. I would say talk shit because I wasn't really a bullier. Like there was one kid that used to fucking, I actually tried to help. I think I've told this story before, but we tried to help this kid because he would get bullied because he would talk shit constantly. And then he just like turn around and talk shit to us. And we're like, oh, fuck this guy. You know what I mean? So that's not what I mean. I'm not trying to say like we bullied like a fucking special needs kid or anything like that. But like different kids would come by and like you would have like little shit talking sessions. And like occasionally it would lead to like, oh, we're gonna fucking fight or something. You know what I mean? Shit like that. I don't know why I said bullying. Of people writing letters and shit. But yeah, there was just always like wild shit would happen. Like it was just like Lord of the Flies. I don't know where our parents were. This was like not even in my neighborhood, and I was supposed to be doing a job. So like technically my mom was in the clear, but I just don't know where any of the parents were like in this neighborhood. Like it wasn't like a wild neighborhood where I delivered my newspapers. It was like if you took a left out of my street and went down like 2 streets and then took a right and then a left, that was where my paper route was. You know what I mean? Like it was a 2-minute bike ride. Not even like a minute bike ride. And yeah, man, I had to wear the little sash, fucking the over the shoulder paper out fucking bag. Like I would get out of school and fucking get home and like I would have to deliver papers. When you think about it, it kind of fucking sucks. because I was pretty young. Like I was too young to get an actual job, but like I was I wasn't old enough to get an actual job, but I was old enough to do the papers. Like you only had to be a certain age, and trying to get a paper out was like crazy. You know what I mean? And now I know, like, as an adult, I'm like, oh, like this is why why your parents wanted you to get the paper out, like, because you have to pay for everything for your fucking kids. So like, if they can pay for their own shit, but like, then what happens if your son sucks at the paper out? You know what I mean? I'm surprised I didn't end up owing them money. Because I forget how you got paid, but like I used to get paid like good fucking money when I was actually doing it well. I just was like, when you're that age, you're just getting money, like a crazy amount of money. Like I was always like, so I did that. And then I started working early at like, they did the summer of work and learning in the mayor's office. And so I did that. Like, I started working before I was whatever age you could do it with a permit or whatever. And then I did the summer of work and learning through school, which like you got paid for. So it was like a program through school where you got a job. And so I got paid to work in the mayor's office of Brockton, Massachusetts. So I would answer phones and shit, and like, do like basically like office bitch work and shit, which is kind of weird. Like if you think about it, like if you're an adult, you just have like a kid in the office with you for the summer. You can't like, I mean, it was all like older ladies, and I think if I remember correctly, it was like me and this young black kid that were in the program together. It was just the two of us, and then like a bunch of like old white ladies, if I remember correctly. I don't really remember who we worked with or worked under. But yeah, like that was like, I was actually on time to that job and shit. But I wore like a Three Stooges tie, like, so I did that job before I was old enough to have a work permit. And then once I was old enough to get a work permit, then I started working at the grocery store, which I've talked about before. So I just am realizing, like, fuck, man, I've been working since I was like fucking 10. That's fucking crazy. I took a few months off at one point. I was unemployed for a little bit. But yeah, fucking paper outs, man. I remember there was this kid that same kid that we tried to protect that one time. He fucking turned on us. He used to like throw his cat off the roof, and like one time he was walking around a completely different neighborhood with a fucking lawnmower. Like he would just wander around. Like when I talk about like there was some fucking like just random shit. Like there was random ass kids, just like no parents, just walking around, like just doing whatever the fuck they want. We used to walk to like this Kmart. I remember I got in trouble because I was over at my buddy's house, and my mom, I had slept over there or something like that, and like we ended up walking from his house to Kmart, and like it was like probably like a 2-mile walk, and my mom like freaked out. Yeah, Brockton was probably not the best place for me to live with my mom, because she already thinks the sky is falling, you know what I mean? And then you move to a place which is like kind of the hood. Like we grew up like, so like up the street from my house there was like a little apartment complex, and it was one of those apartment complexes where you'd hear gunshots and shit, and there'd be like robberies and murders and fucking prostitutes, and but it was like right down the street from the house. So like we didn't live there, but we lived like, close enough. And my school was right next to it. Like I had to walk by there to get to the school, and I was told I wasn't supposed to go through there. I think I've talked about this anyway. I think it's better now, but like when I was growing up, it was bad. You'd like just hear fucking pop, pop, like fucking throughout the day, like random shit. So yeah, definitely just like, I don't know why I was thinking about my paper out, but There's a sale this weekend that looks super promising. We have friends in town again, but one likes to go to sales. I don't know if she's going to like this sale. So if there's other sales that are better, I might have to pass on it. But this sale is like, there's a picture of the basement. It's like, you can go in the basement, but I'd recommend bringing gloves and a headlamp, blah, 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 blah. So I am going to try to get there like as early as possible if I end up going to that sale, and trying to get into that basement first, go down there first, because they had like vintage clothes everywhere. I'm honestly getting sick of clothes. Like, I might just trade this dude all of these clothes, but I don't even know if he wants them. That's the thing. They're all cool clothes, but does he want them? Who knows? It's all I've been finding. But once yard sale season, oh, sweet, sweet yard sale season, because you could sell anything. The possibilities are endless. I keep thinking it's here, and then it's fucking not, and it's just another week of bullshit. Like, I can't wait to go to multiple sales that don't fucking suck. Like, I do love estate sales that are like unadvertised, and I get to just, like the one I went to Saturday where I was just picking through all these clothes. Unfortunately, some of them weren't as in great shape, but there was still a ton more clothes I probably could, like, there's stuff that was probably could have been good if it was in better shape. There's a bunch of like Ralph Lauren polos that I probably just could have like bought for next to nothing. Could have probably just included them in the price that I paid, or like added another $5 or something. Like, I probably could have got a bunch of those, but I'm kind of over it. I need to sell other shit. I might take a break and just start selling cards for a little bit instead of these fucking clothes. But we'll see. Hopefully yard sale season's right around the corner. The Pokemon vending machine was fun while it lasted. Yeah, ever since they put that sign up, I found cards there one time, but it was like not like that. It wasn't anything I didn't want to rip, but I wanted like the $5 packs, and it was like a $30 pack, $25 pack, whatever. So I was not trying to spend $25 on a Pokemon booster. So, it is what it is. I don't know why, but for some reason, if I lose, like, I was thinking about this at the fucking yard sale or the estate sale with the records. Like, if I lose out on an item because it's the price too high, I do not give a fuck. But if I lose out on an item because like that person who got the PlayStation 3 in front of me, like, I keep going over that in my head, like how I could have done it different. I don't want to think about it. It's not like it's even something that bothers me anymore at this point in my reselling journey. Because I'm like, I know that shit happens. I'm like, not every day is going to be your day, Occasionally it's going to be, I've gotten so used to it a lot of the time being my day that, like, when it does not sometimes not go my way, it's like, I'm constantly thinking about it, even though I've tricked myself into being like, I don't give a fuck about that stuff. But yeah, perfect example, that PlayStation 3. I'm like, if I just turned around earlier, I would have fucking been fine, and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, it's just, I just don't give a fuck if it's priced too high. If it's too high, I'm just like, all right, good luck selling that, you fucking dickless piece of shit. Assuming it's a woman. If it's not a woman, then I would say, you dick-having piece of shit. I probably wouldn't say either of those things. Let's see. Oh, okay. So this is like not really political, but it was kind of like current events. So there was recently, like, I think it was either over the weekend or maybe like last week or something. There was like a track meet, and there's like this kid that got fucking stabbed to death by a black kid. And so of course everybody's like, oh, the black kids fucking, and then all the white people, oh, the white kids. So there's just all these different opinions about things. And I think the thing that's being forgot about this story, and normally I wouldn't talk about this, but it's the end of this episode. I don't really have much else to talk about, and I need like 5 minutes to fill, so I'll talk about this. And so the thing that I think everybody is failing to think about in this situation, like, yeah, the black kid stabbed the guy, blah, 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 whatever. But twins are involved here. And anytime you have fucking twins, like, I don't know. Because twins, I just don't trust twins. I'm sorry. Like, listen, two people that like can communicate with each other almost telepathically, like that's almost like a superpower. You know what I mean? Like, so anytime like I hear a story and they're like, "Oh, twins were involved," I'm like, "Well, fucking buckle up! Like, what the fuck's gonna be going on?" There's a video online. It's old video, and it was about this twin. I think it was in like Sweden. There's some like, I don't know. It was like a white blonde haired lady, like, you know, pretty lady, and her twin. So they look the same, whatever. And like one of them, I guess, has like a psychotic break, and then the other one had a psychotic break because the other one did. You know what I mean? So she just like, this lady runs out into traffic in front of like an 18-wheeler truck, and then like her legs are broken and she's trying to fucking get up. Like, it's like a fucking horror movie. You could see like a lot of the aftermath of it. Or I can't remember if you could see like a lot of it on the video or if they're just describing it. But it just is fucking, it's really fucked up. And like, she's trying to fucking fight the cops when she's like, they both just go insane. And then it was figured out afterwards, like by like whoever professional, that like one of them basically had a psychotic episode and the other one just fucking did the same just because they were like bonded or some shit. I don't fucking know. So anytime I hear a story that's like, oh, there's twins involved, like one of the kids got stabbed by this black kid, like again, I'm not going to jump on either side either way, you know, because if you're like, oh, the fucking black kid, I don't know the whole story either way. The only facts that I do know is that twins were involved. That should trump any type of like racism or any type of like, you know, whatever narrative you want to spin. Anytime you have a fucking twin involved, it's not good, man. Look at any movie depiction of a twin. It's not like a pleasant. There's never like twins that, I mean, they try to do it like sexually, but even that's weird. You know what I mean? Like anytime they're like, oh, remember there was like a commercial, like I think it was Coors Light or something, like, I love this and this and this and twins. And that was like the end of the commercial. And it's like two sisters. And like, yeah, the concept is like cool, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like they're two sisters who look the same. And you're talking about how you want to fuck two sisters. Like, you want to have two sisters perform like incest. Be just so you can fucking have a weird fantasy. But then there's like probably sisters who are into that, and it's just fucking, it's weird. I'm telling you, twins are just bad news. There's not supposed to be multiples of people. You know what I mean? I think they're probably just clones that nobody wants to tell you, because I've never met, there's twins that used to live in my neighborhood, matter of fact, and they were fucking weird too. I think I beat the shit out of them a couple times. Okay, maybe I did bully people in my all right. Well, that's the podcast. That's just about gonna wrap it up. It'll be about an hour once I'm done finishing up saying all this shit. So again, if you're liking the podcast, make sure to subscribe and tell your friends. Make sure you share the show. It's available everywhere. Again, every episode now is on YouTube, so you can get it. And it's on YouTube audio too, so you can like listen to it while you're driving or sourcing or whatever. I know it's roughly related to reselling. It's not entirely a reselling podcast. But yeah, it helps me out. I want to try to expand this little show little by little and eventually hopefully get some video going. Since I just completely gave up on it. Hey, all I said was I would get it up on YouTube. I guess I can change the goalposts a little bit, you know. So eventually I want to get video. I do. I really do. So I do think I'm going to switch. So I was thinking, because I'm doing school right now and I was just going to go for business, but I was talking to my financial advisor and he was like, why don't you do like digital marketing? He's like, you're not going to be able to do anything with a business degree. I was like, well, yeah, that's probably fucking smart. So I did send a message to my financial advisor or my academic advisor at school after I just talked to him and told him I was not switching my major. I was going to switch my major. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's the podcast. Yeah, Perry Flips on Instagram, Potted Picker on X, Flips and Giggles on Facebook, and yeah, talk to you next week. Or maybe this week. Maybe there'll be another one. Who knows? Bye.